Good afternoon on what is a bright, warm and breezy day. It is Friday, June the 10th, and I'm in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And this to unbox, which is Dune Adventures in Imperium, Agents of Dune, role-playing campaign experience. This is the new expansion from Modifius Entertainment for the Dune Adventures in Imperium line. This is I think it's the third or fourth expansion for it. Was launched at UK Games Expo, so for me it came out last weekend. And it looks great on the table because they had it out on display. And I'll just show you what you get inside. All that. And also that, which is a digital copy of the core rulebook included. So essentially what happens is you play through this, and if you like it, or you have questions about the rules that want further explanation, you can download a copy of the rules for free, which is fantastic. That's a fantastic package. So you're getting a lot of gameplay in here, and then you get full rules. You don't even, what you could do is you could take this and open it up, go, I don't want to play with these characters, I want to create my own, download the core rulebook, and away you go, which is a fantastic idea. So, right, as it promises, Arrakis is yours. Your house is to become the new governor of Arrakis in an alternate what-if scenario, where you must ensure the supply of the vital space and melange to the known universe. With the eyes of the entire Imperium watching your every move, you retain control of the treasures. Can you retain control of the treasure of Arrakis? Or with this appointment, spell the destruction of your house? The Agents of Dune role-playing campaign experience offers a complete introduction to the world of Dune and the Dune Adventures in the Imperium role-playing game. The box contains everything you need to start playing with no preparation required. Even if you are new to Dune or role-playing games, the set guides you through an epic story where your characters are the heroes. So you get Agents of Dune includes a complete 116-page adventure with step-by-step guidance as you play. 5 character photos for the members of the House Nagara. 2 50-card decks detailing NPCs, assets and traits for use during play. 3 handouts and 4 zone maps that bring the experience of Arrakis to your gaming tables. 54 tokens and 2 trackers for momentum, threat and determination. A complete spice harvesting system to keep track of your success or failures in running Arrakis. 5 custom D20s or 20-sided dice featuring the symbol of the greatest sandworms of Arrakis. A free digital copy of the Dune Adventures in Imperium core rulebook to expand your campaign even further after play. So, this box set promises a lot. Let's have a look inside. I am certainly impressed by essentially the ambition there, and I think this is, it's going to do very well for people who are interested in Dune, partly because wanting to explore it, but given the opportunity to explore it really on their own, if you see what I mean, and playing away from that classic setup of being members of House Atreides, which is kind of the default setting. But okay, so box. Let's see if we find out what's inside. Quite a tight box. Slides open. There we go. And gets off to a first great start. Read this first. I love it when you open up a box set and you've got this sheet saying this is where you start. So this is essentially a message from Countess Nagara saying, I am trusting you, I'm giving you this task, I'm sure you will live up to it, that sort of thing. And then we open up and we have, here's the scenario. What if you ruled Arrakis? What if you did it rather than House Harkonnen or House Atreides? And then it's got a description of all the contents there. So this is setting everything up. Going, I've got this box set. Where do I start? Look at this. What's in this box? and even telling you, you know, this isn't in the box, but a code is there for it, for that core rulebook. They're really pushing that, and I think that's such a good idea. And below that, we have the Agents of Dune book. So, softback, doesn't need to be a hardback for in the box set, but we have an adventure, you know, in multiple acts. So it's across 3 acts. So you've got everything you need there. And how to set up the game. So you're literally picking this up and starting. You don't need a copy of the core rulebook. You know, it's clear. It's marking you with the sections like the rule sidebar, setting sidebar, direction sidebar. So here's the rules. Here's more background on the setting. Here's advice. And then we have a note to the experienced game master as well, giving her the advice. So. You know, it's okay. Look, here's the starting point. There is okay. You open it up and the adventure starts. Okay, are you ready to play? Go. Read this out. You know, I think you do need to do a bit of preparation, but it's minimal preparation from what I can see. And you know, they haven't stinted on the artwork. This is a very nice looking product, even, you know, just from the glance through. You know, a couple of pages in, it's a nice piece of artwork. And then into Act 1, Allies and Enemies, and here we have essentially the launch for you from your homeworld to Arrakis, and we have shuttle simulation through and onwards. So, you know, you have all this narrative, all this content, all this stuff going on at the same time. You know, you have rules guides here. So you've got, you know, essentially, you know, how does criticals work? How does the difficulty work? How does assistance works? And setting-wise, here's how las guns work. So you've got a bit of a wall of text here, broken up into boxes, but, you know, you work your way through it. And then we go into the second section. We go to looking at things like, you know, your personal shield, momentum, and so on, explaining elements of the rules as you're going through and running a game. So yeah, all good and well. So a bit much in terms of essentially you are looking at a lot of sections of text. It is sort of like that is, although it's broken up, it's kind of like it's a bit imposing, I think, for your first game. But it is broken up by these nice pieces of artwork as well. And then we get into part 2, and then we have essentially you've gone through your first sort of like experiences of playing the game, and then we're into group training exercises, getting your players and their characters to work together, and more, and then ultimately the true task is revealed. This is all preparation for the true task. And then we get into Act 2, and you can see the Highliners there, bringing the player characters to Arrakis, the Spice World or Dune, and then bringing down onto this planetary surface. So what you have here is you've got essentially this is giving the player characters much more agency than you might have if you were going in with a with the Atreides, because you kind of know what's going to happen with that. Then we here come to face with Harkonnen management, or is that mismanagement? And then actually encounter one of the spice factories. Probably a situation where you have to defuse it. You're of course going to face sabotage, because the Harkonnens are really unhappy about giving up their fiefdom, you know, giving it so on, and we have assassination plots. So lots going on. There's a full story here. You'll play through to the end, and then in Act 3 you'll actually get out into the desert planet itself. lastly, we come to the Universal Fulcrum. So we've got essentially NPCs got quite clearly, simply organised and made clear, and essentially we've got the politics and the basically the Cold War going on here. It's not gone hot, although it's on a hot planet. As you face Harkonnen sabotage and finding your way to dealing with the with the Fremen, and so on, and of course you get to encounter a giant sandworm, because of course you do. You know, it is Dune, and where would you be without that in a story? And ultimately you comes up to the climax where the spice mining operations either sort of like kind of succeed or fail. So yeah, complete campaign, complete guide to the rules, everything you need in there. And the other thing is basically on the back of that sheet there's just a reference guide, just another one, just useful to have included in there. And then next what we've got are the player characters, the pre-gens. So we have this is a martial noble, and open up, and what we've got is essentially, and it says it's basically a quick introduction, say, and then it says play this character if you like being in charge and enjoy dueling and combat, and it's going to do that with each of these characters. Then you've got explanation of what's the setting of June like, and then her talents, drives and statements and so on, everything that stats about the character. And on the back we have again rules reference, and we've got charismatic noble, mentat advisor, then swordmaster, and then we have Bene Gesserit, spy master. So kind of all the very typical sort of like standard kind of characters you would expect in a Dune game, aping that model you see in House Atreides. But I mean that's what you would like be in any house, because they would all have their swordmaster and their Bene Gesserit at Reverend Mother, and we have essentially momentum tracker and events. What's this? Spice harvesting system. Oh, and this is fantastic. There's a player handout. This is a player handout. So you arrive on world, you arrive on Arrakis, okay, and there's somebody that hands you this pamphlet. It says, this is what you need to be aware of. So Arrakis, star system, Canopus, moons 2, habital, class 3, governorship, Harkonnen, current. Primary export, spice melange, alcohol, coffee, mining and politics. Languages, Gallic, Chakobus, which is Fremen. Locations of interest, Arrakeen, Carthage, Polar Sink, Sentinel Rock and Windsack. And inside we have the basics of what it's like. It's really basic, but essentially it's sort of like, but this is the very basic information that you need to know. Water, desert, transport, sandworms, people, and then on the back, notable cities. Then we have below that handout. So we've got there's one handout, and one more that's meant to be more handwritten. So a couple of handouts, and these are done on nice thick paper. Counters. Oh, sorry, I don't want to do that. So card counters for the various subsystems and momentum and determination and so on. We have a couple of maps, presumably locations, and we have a factory map, again mentioned earlier in the session. Dueling map, so you have guard, target, guard, and then on the other side essentially where your position is going to be in terms of dueling. Below that we have standees, 5 20-sided dice for your Dune game, and then a couple of packs of cards. So let's have a look at these. Oh, here we go, just getting those out. So I'm going to open one of these up at the moment. So we have things like a dart gun, and then on the back you can have all the stats for the dart gun. And then para compass, and basically just pieces of items of equipment. Poison snooper, crimson fibre rope, pulse sword. Remember that being used by Duncan in Duncan, Idaho in the film, because this is very much inspired by the recent film. Mauler pistol, personal shield, and then we have basically the stat cards for the various NPCs, so Harkonnen soldiers, and then stats on the back. But if we get down to here, we've got including stats for the Baron himself. It's just various. Let's have a look. So yeah, here the great thing is. So here we've actually got cards for the player characters. So there's Alice Dominica, the Bene Gesserit Spy Master, Natalia Khan, Mantat Advisor, and so on. So all 5 of them with the full stats on the back. But then what you do is you use them with these. These essentially not only references, but they double as pieces for when they are moving around in the game. So if you're doing a duel, for example, what you would do, is you would have say, let's just say your martial noble. You would place her, put her on the little standee and to show you where she is in relation to her opponent, which is excellent, which is really good. It's such a clever little idea. I mean, there's so well appointed. Like, this is a fantastic box set. Yeah, if you are a fan of Dune at all, I do not think you're going to be disappointed with this set. You get so much in here. There is so much to dig into, so much to enjoy, and the thing is, what's absolutely great about this is that if you are a Dune fan at all, it's new. Okay, it's not in the novels. I mean, obviously, the stuff about Baron Harkonnen and the Fremen is new, but a lot of this is going to be stuff that's going to be new, or approaching it sort of like from a different direction, and from not from the characters you're used to, not from the members of House Atreides, but House Nagara. So you have that kind of you have that new point of view, and if you're playing it, you have that new point of different approach. You can take the approach to taking of the 5 that you want to. You can make the decisions, puts you in charge. So yeah, I think this gives your player characters essentially it's not called Agents of Dune for nothing, because this gives you an alternative version of the story. This gives your player characters the agency that to do what they want. I think that's fantastic. So that's Agents of Dune, the role-playing campaign experience, and I would describe this essentially as, it's not described as a starter set. If I was to describe it as a starter set, it's a campaign starter. It's a starter set plus because there's 5 scenarios in here, and they're probably, you're going to get sort of like multiple sessions of play out of them, and it's going to set you up for playing further on Dune. So yeah, really impressed by Agents of Dune, the role-playing campaign experience from Modifius Entertainment. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box or even a game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching, and we'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.